Welcome back, tankers of Blitz Universe, to the channel. Thanks for all the support. We've been slowly growing towards 4.6k subscribers. We got some more patrons sponsoring the channel as well. If you want to, there's a link available in the description. It's not needed, I will produce content anyways, but yeah, it's a small bit of conversation and yeah, maybe keep the girlfriend happy as well for a bit. Other than that, we are on this tank at the moment, the Tier 10 Chinese 121. Bit of a made-up tank as far as I've been able to find out. The 121, the WZ121, which was a production designation, never had 122mm gun. It was known as a Type 69 in service. It had a 100mm smoothbore gun, was later upgraded with a 105, and it was basically a development of the Type 59, which in itself was a knockoff of the T54 and T55. So that tank is available in the game as well, on PC, on console and in Blitz, a Type 59, but the 121 never had a 122mm gun. That in itself isn't a really big problem. It gives a really distinguishing feature to this Tier 10 medium, having 400 alpha, and that's really the big question, I think, on the tank at the moment and on this review. Is that enough to deserve its place in World of Tanks Blitz 400 alpha? Because most of the Tier 10 mediums, they do, all of them basically, they do 350, and you get 400, which is 50 more, which can be a good thing. But as you will see later, as we compare all the statistics and stats and numbers, this tank has some serious drawbacks as well. Some really good things, which, well, aren't strange. It just has some really peculiar stuff going on to it, and some great stuff going about. You can already see, as we were derping around and shooting tanks, one of the good things is the aim time, which is pretty darn decent, the best in class and maybe even the best aim time in the game. You have some decent frontal armor, as you can see from the bounce from that E75 over there. And you have, of course, the same sort of Russian mobility like a T54, like a T44, like an Objecon 40 and a T62A. So in that regard, nothing really bad, I think. And you can see the tank that just moves around just fine. The aim time really great. You can get in there, stop dead in front of them, whoop, it aims in, you shoot, you go towards the next target. And 400 alpha is nice, but it does come at a major drawback, which is serious lack of DPM. Not just a bit of lack of DPM, no, it's serious lack of DPM. I can manage to shoot and kill this IS-8 at the cost of getting hit myself as well, but he had to go down. That gives us some breathing space in this game at the moment. But you can see I'm really trying to make my mind up what to do now, because there's a Jaeger over there. Oh, he's coming my way. Run away, Forest. A T62, which was still at full health just a few seconds ago, but not anymore. But there is an Object 268 as well at full health, who is very keen on shooting that PTA, so he does that, and that means it is now 4-on-2. So yeah, I'll just try to drop down the stats. Maybe should have steered towards the right side just a bit quicker, but I can go underneath this 268, who really, I think he wanted to try to ram me, I don't know, actually. But I can go up the stairs again and keep my gun trained towards him and shoot him. He tries to take a shot while turning around, misses. I can shoot him once, activate engine boost, full throttle straight into him. He is doing the good thing in backing up, but then again, there is a wall over there, and I can go up, keep my turret turned, and yeah, you can see in terms of rate of fire and stuff, it is basically a tank destroyer. Luckily I have good frontal turret armor, and that 268 doesn't use HE, so I bounce another shot, but I leave him at 15. Wouldn't have won the game anyway, but it is a bit annoying to do 4k damage in this game and then not be able to get the last kill. Would have been 50 more, but at least a kill. One tank destroyed, 4k damage, not bad. Not brilliant either. None of the games I do in this video are brilliant, are really I think are really epic stuff. The last one is a goodie. But yeah, this video, the first game, showed, in my opinion, what this tank can do, what it lacks, and yeah, is the big alpha enough? I don't think so. I think this tank has serious issues. So let's compare all the statistics, and then we'll do some do's and don'ts and on towards the armor profile as well. So as you can see, first of all, the one thing you have serious issues with is DPM. You have the lowest DPM in class by far. I mean, even E50M has better DPM, but at least that is such a heavy tank it can do a bit of a ramming. Adding a rammer and both of the foods still leaves you in worst of DPM, and that's just it really isn't good. You do have brilliant aim time, as you can see as well from the weapon handling. You have better alpha. If you go towards the heat penetration, well, it's good, 290, but not brilliant, same as W140 and T62A, so that's not really a redeeming feature. So I've been looking at this stats, and there isn't really anything I can find on this tank that is truly outstanding, except for 400 alpha, but then again, that's just 50 more than any of the other tier 10 mediums, and they have a lot more DPM. The weapon handling, the aim time, brilliant. But then again, dispersion isn't that good. Dispersion on the move isn't that good. All the tanks do it a lot better. If you look at the movement and mobility, you are a fairly light tank, so your power to weight ratio is good. That's really nice. And then looking down at how many people are playing this tank, just look at the number of players in the last 90 days. I know it's a new tank, obviously, and the win rate is pretty darn high compared to all of the other tanks, but there's just such a small number of people playing the 1-to-1 in tier 10. And yeah, I think that has a reason, to be honest, because I don't think people really want to play the 1-to-1 at the moment. And you can see its relative win rates. It's also coupled to win rates in other tanks as well. Those lines to show whether a tank is OP or not. But yeah, there are better options to be had, and I think they're on the right side of the screen. The W140 to T62A, basically the same tank, except for another gun with lower rate, lower alpha, but far better rate of fire, using a much higher DPM. So yeah, taking a look then on what to do, I think you could use a rammer, but well, the DPM is shit anyway. I do use it on all of the videos here. You might as well want to go with the added hit points and the hyper velocity, because that hyper velocity gives you the edge in shooting at a distance. And to highlight the issue with the DPM, I'm going to show you this one. You can see W140, he isn't even running adrenaline. I was on my way to reload, probably should have backed up, but you can see he gets 2 shots off in the time it takes me to get 1 shot off. What you should do is abuse that aim time. You can see I shot that IS-4. I get spotted, I back off into a nice little dip, cover to the left, I can reload just fine, aim in, there we go. I shoot him again, and there we go, there's the light bulb. That means my reload is actually that long, I can reset my camo at a distance. Then I can pop out again, zoom in again, there we go. I bounce now on his lower plate, I think, his lower hull plate actually, but I bounce a shot on the turret as well. So that leads me into the armor profile, and at first it doesn't look that spectacular, to be honest. I mean, front plate is 120, you have 240 on the front of your turret, 120 of spaced armor around the mantlet and stuff. You can see it over here, 120 over there. If you're driving a Leopard, and you will see the back or the side of a 1-to-1, you can easily penetrate it. On flat ground you will easily penetrate it, you have more DPM, you can brawl him to death, you will always win. But if that 1-to-1 then goes into a sort of hold down position and uses the maximum gun depression, I wouldn't say it becomes a fortress. It has its weak spots obviously on the cupola and on the bottom side of the turret, left and right as well, but it's pretty much red. Unless you start using heat, but this is a Leopard shooting APCR. And that the top of the turret is actually pretty darn effective. Even a Jagdpanzer E100, you have to expose your weak spots on the left and the right side of the gun if you want to shoot them properly, because you have to pop up just a bit better. And you can see the object 268. Yeah, if you would have shot me just between the cupolas, he would penetrate me anyway, because it isn't really thick over there. But using the maximum gun depression and maybe turning your turret left and right a little bit, that will allow you, not against tank destroyers, they will penetrate you anyway, but as you can see here, we'll switch again to the Leopard against the T-62A as well. There we go. If you go hold down and use the maximum gun depression and keep your gun on the inside of your track wheels, then you are pretty effective over there, because you will side scrape, you will bounce the occasional shot. If you put the gun towards the outside of your track wheel, you will overexpose and overextend your sights, you will get penetrated anyway. So this is the way you will want to be playing as much as possible the 1-to-1. That means we will go into 2 more games, both of them ace games, again highlighting a bit what the tank can do, some of the issues with it, and yeah, pretty ridiculous aces, to be honest. And where the first game on Dynasty Spur was one of the first games I actually played in the 1-to-1, I'm being a bit more cautious on this one over here. Normally I'd go on the ridge near the B-cap to spot tanks. I don't want to do that now. I want to see what I can do over here. Use a maximum gun depression. There we go. He bounces on my front plate. It's a T-54 with a stock gun. Not really much of a threat to me. I'll sit here. I'll just reload. Casually side scrape out. There we go. Shoot him again. Thank you. He tracks me, but I've been able to put 2 shots into him for the use of 1 repair pack. And that, to my mind, is a good trade. Cheeky little kill, 690 in terms of damage done by my companion, object 140 on the left. Not quite sure what a T-57 heavy is on, but we get tracked again. I have a feeling he's now on a reload, so we will charge in. We have a DPM machine which is at 140 with me. I'm only spotted just now, so that could either be my crew skills or the 1-to-1 having a good camo rating. I'm not sure which one of the two is it. He had just fired the 57 heavy. I can drive back again. And yeah, I know I have a little dip in that rock area that I can abuse to drive away. Lucky he becomes a one-shot as I go there. Ooh, there's another one. Go away. So yeah, this highlights what the tank can and can do. You have to use and abuse all those ridges and berms and little small hull down positions as much as you can, because if you don't, you will get whacked. So this is a tank that isn't really suited, in my opinion, and why I didn't fire over here, I haven't got a clue. This is a tank which isn't really suited to new players. I mean, it can work, but it has some very good features and some very strange features as well. Should use heat there on the mouse, but hey ho, some very strange features as well. And if you don't know the terrain, if you don't know how to abuse the strong suits of your tank, then you will be in trouble on with a tank like this. You do have AP for standard ammo. APCR would be nice, to be honest, or maybe even APCR as with the same heat penetration actually as premium ammo. And you will lose against 97 if he decides to brawl you. I'm still on heat. Want to go back to AP because I will predict that probably will be able to shoot the front plate, dirty shot into the ground. But the T-124 is there anyway. So let's try to track the IS. We managed to not track him, but we can not kill him because the 54 gets that shot. And I'm a bit too ballsy here. Should have driven into the rock on the side. And what I was thinking here, I haven't got a clue. We're going to win it anyway. But you can again see a grill gets a quicker reload than the 1-to-1. And yeah, he shoots me, kills me. But still, it is an ace game. I was really surprised. Flabbergasted would be probably the word you will be looking for, because I mean, look at the XP, 1212. It's not a lot of players playing the 1-to-1, as we've seen in the statistics, but 1200 XP for a tier 10 ace. That means there's something seriously wrong with the tank if you can get an ace for 1200 in tier 10. For 2.8k damage as well. I mean, 4.2 on Dynasty's Pearl had was a third class. That felt more like an ace game. When you say it feels like an ace game, and sorry again about the lack of sound on this game. Thinking about games that feel like an ace game, this one feels more like an ace game than some of the other games I've done. It's on Himmelsdorf, as you can see. And this is, well, actually a pretty decent game in a 1-to-1. I'm being cautious. I'm picking my targets. I am dodging shots from a Type 61, trying to see what happens. I'm going to derp a shot here into the train card, which is annoying because would have made my life just a bit easier later on in the game. But I'm doing the right thing here, pushing this T62A. Can't be shot by the T30 yet. I'm free from the Type 62. He does shoot me. After Type 61, the T62 does shoot me while he wiggles around and catches a shot on his tracks. But he's in trouble now because there's an FE over there. I'm not going to give him anything, and as soon as he turns away, looks away, I'll move in, go for the kill and shoot him. I still have cover, and I knew I had cover from that Type 61. The T30 decided to back off because there was an FE over there, Death Star. And luckily my T54E1 on the green team decides to roll in as well with me. I managed to shoot and track the Type 61 over there. I'm not sure whether I did damage. We're going to make his life a little miserable. We're going to shoot him again. There we go. Going head to head, straight into him, using the turret frontal armor, and we bounce a shot, and we are greedy, and we want to get another kill. There we go. Thank you very much. In the meantime, we have 2 kills. We are losing tanks, and this isn't looking really good in my opinion, because there's a few tanks on fairly high hit points, but we have a Death Star over there. So that M103 just kind of evaporated. I can shoot him, kill him, and we are going to move on towards the T30, and now it's just me, the Death Star, me and the Death Star against a T30, a full health IS-8 and a FV. And you might think, what a stupid move is Martin doing over here, but this T30, he had to go. He had to go as soon as possible because I wanted to kill him, save my hit points a bit, and then have the FV stay alive as well. Stupid move here on that IS-8. I was thinking he was looking at the FV, but he wasn't. Luckily, the FV is still alive. He takes a huge chunk of health out of that IS-8, which means he is a one-shot now to me. And that's a good thing on this tank. Here, the 400 alpha comes into play just fine. I mean, 350 would have done it as well on the Leopard or any other tank with 350 alpha, but 310, I would have needed a high roll on an Object 140, and this FV is at 903, and that means I could be able to shoot him, kill him in 2 shots. If I roll very high. Luckily the Death Star managed to bomb him as well, leaving him at 903. But you can see my aim time is pretty good, and he's at 129 now, and yeah, that it means he is a one-shot to me, while I'm a definite, or not a definite, but a high roll one-shot to him. I can track him over there, and I'm just sitting here and think, okay, I got this under control. Why am I thinking this? The FV is backing off. He had me tracked. I tracked him as well, obviously. And from the icon, I can see he's moving in. So I'll just stay there, aim in. There we go. Lower plate. Ta-ta! Thank you very much. 6 kills on Himmelsdorf. This one felt more like an ace game, and it was an ace game as well. But again, the experience isn't that high, and yeah, that explains to me and basically answers the question as well. Is the Big Alpha enough? Is it enough to make this a viable option as a tier 10 medium? I don't think it is. I think you should go for any of the other tier 10 mediums because they have a lot more good points to take into account to abuse on the battlefield, especially DPM on the T62A, which is getting buffed in 4.7 as well. So yeah, I don't think there's any reason to play the 1-to-1 except for the fact that you will get very cheeky and very cheap aces in tier 10. So yeah, that's it for now. For today, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Please subscribe if you like the content, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers and happy tanking.